love fall fragrances. I love fragrances like CH Min by Carolina Herrera, nice sugary, leathery, and, sweet fragrances that kind of have a nice balance, right? These are great for fall. Love stuff like this. Prime example of one main problem that a lot of people will have with a scent like this is its performance. Even though it's a cooler weather leaning scent overall, it doesn't really have the guts to hold up in some cooler days, and it may not last you as long as you would like. So today I want to focus on 10 fall fragrances that last at least 12 hours. You'll find that a lot of these will get even beyond that point. If you're up and still rocking them, they're going to keep rocking with you. So we're really leaning more on the designer side here. We've got one niche, kind of a mix of affordable and a little bit more high-end. We're covering a bunch of different budgets here. So no matter what you're looking for, whether it be budget or style of scent, you're going to find what you like. So I will provide links down below, discounters, save money that way. If I'm referencing prices, it's through discounters, and also community tab posting deals over there every day, helping you to secure some fragrances that are in this video, because some may be a little bit more rare than others, but they do pop up from time to time, and all these should be available right now. Start off with Intense CEDRAT Boise by MANCERA, and Extrait de Parfum, which is at 40 or 45% concentration, something like that. This stuff is absolutely incredible. It's heavy, it's rich, it's dense. I mean, this is a flanker done to the best possible degree. I could not be more happy with this one. It truly is an intense version of the EDP. If you're someone who has kind of performance issues with the EDP, I promise you this is going to solve your problems. I mean, the EDP on me has always been a strong scent. I've even bought newer bottles because people say, oh, it's not the same, and it's still strong on me. Could be a skin thing, who knows for sure. But this one takes it to the next level, so much so that it's absolutely crazy. So if you're looking for still a mass-pleasing and wearable scent for the fall, realistically could be used into wintertime as well, of course, and you want huge performance at a price that isn't ridiculous given that it is a niche scent, check out this one right here. MANCERA, they're always reasonable. This one, when it's in stock, usually right around $100 for this size, which is an incredible steal. This stuff is absolutely killer and you gotta have it. Next up, Hugo Boss The Scent. This is going to be the Absolute version, which features ginger, maninka fruit, and vetiver here in this one. I really love this line in particular. I think really all of these are innovative in their own way. I really like Private Accord as well, but this one here kind of really does well in all categories with that performance one included. So it still has great versatility to it. It's very mass pleasing and wearable. It doesn't get too far out there. It doesn't get too crazy different or anything like that. So you can still wear it and feel confident that people are going to like how you smell. But you've also got the performance aspect here, and it does very well. Holds up great in cooler weather. In fact, it enjoys it. This one really seems to be more enjoyable and feel like it fits in more overall when you're wearing it when it's cold outside or cooler. It smells fantastic. Love this stuff. Next up, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Le Parfum version here. It's got cardamom, lavender, and vanilla in here. So I've described this one simply as a hybrid between Ultra Male and the original. So Ultra Male, the vanillic sweetness and just the overall sweet character that this one has kind of reminds me a little bit of the similar sweetness that Ultra Male has. And then you have the lavender freshness that the original has. And then on top of all of that, a nice, spicy, and warm and inviting cardamom note. I love that note in fragrances, and it's done very nicely here. It doesn't completely take over the scent, but it does make itself known. You pick up on it right away, and it stays throughout the entirety of the scent. You almost even get kind of like a dusty benzoin and almost like a tonka bean powderiness in here as well. It's a scent with a lot of layers and great performance as well. If you don't like Ultra Male, there's a better chance that you would like this one, because while it is still sweet, it's more balanced here. It's a great one. This one finally came back in a stock, which is awesome because I think it's a great alternative to a much more expensive scent. From AFNAN, it is Highness 3 Green. Now, this one is very similar to Creed Royal Oud. So if you've smelled Creed Royal Oud, Creed's Royal Oud is what I was trying to get out, you would know that that one doesn't really have a ton of oud despite the name. It's really more cedarwood, very cedarwood and pink pepper heavy. It's a dry scent, dry and woody and very masculine and much more traditional smelling compared to, you know, the bubblegummy sweet fragrances that are being released today, which, you know, basically the opposite of what I just talked about before, Le Male Parfum. Not that there's anything wrong with those scents, but this is going to be for the guy who wants something much more traditionally masculine smelling. And you don't want to spend a ton of money either, because the Creed is expensive even on discounters, and the performance that you get from that one isn't really all that great. It's better than some of the others given the profile of it, but it's still not wonderful. You know, this one here has that 12-hour lasting mark, really does well on my skin, and I was super impressed by that. I wasn't expecting it to do this well, but it shocked me. It's an eau de parfum, just like the Creed, and very similar to the Creed. It's got that dry, kind of earthy cedar wood accorded here, bits and pieces of oud, but this one, believe it or not, actually goes in a little bit more of a green direction, so it has some green accords to it, which I like, and it kind of gives it its own twist. Still very much heavily inspired by Royal Oud, and I think it's amazing for the price. The presentation on this is also very good. It's actually one of those situations where the presentation is better than the Creed. I mean, Creed presentation is not very good. The AFNAN kills it, which is actually kind of funny. Now we're going to go over to Ferragamo UOMO Signature. This one's got tonka, it's got leather, and coffee. So very similar still to the original Ferragamo UOMO, but the leather and coffee give it a little bit more of a kind of a balance. Makes it more pleasant to me. I love the original, but I like the additional notes in here because it just evens things out, and it does somewhat of a good job to tame down some of the overwhelming sweetness that the original DNA has, and so that's why I like Signature better. But I still really like the original as well. You really couldn't go wrong with either of them, just personal preference. One thing that is also true about both of these is performance is amazing, or at least, again, on my skin. A lot of people tend to get great performance from these as well. 12 hours is not out of the realm of possibility here. In fact, I hit that pretty consistently. When I do wear this one, I end up smelling it way later on into the day, to the point where I've kind of forgotten about it. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, I am still wearing this because I can still smell it. But you know, when you first apply something, it's fresh on your mind. And then as time goes on, you feel like you shouldn't be smelling it anymore because it's been so long, but yet it's still kicking strong and will probably continue to go even further on. So yeah, this one here, great performance. And the price is actually pretty reasonable, usually right around $50. But if you want to go with something a little bit more affordable here, you can go with ENCRE Noir A La Extreme. So this is a tester. It does come with a cap, testers engraved. I always like to point that out when I can, just so you can save a little bit of money, still get a full presentation look on the actual bottle standpoint. So, you know, this is kind of one of those more challenging ones. It's very vetiver centric, but with a smoky incense accord primarily in this one. So it's very dry, woody, earthy, and smoky. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not even really necessarily blind buy safe. However, given that it's a more affordable fragrance in general, you know, buying samples is kind of just like, you know, by the time you pay for shipping and the sample itself and tax, if they're collecting tax, you're almost better off just buying a bottle. Because what happens is if you really like it, you're stuck with this stupid little sample that you're going to burn through, and then you're going to pay money up front for a full bottle. And look, if you don't like it, then yeah, that sucks. You're out $30. But you know what? This hobby is not cheap. No hobby is. It's kind of part of the game. I have so many fragrances that suck that I've ended up with, and I just kind of move on from it. I don't dwell on it. So with this one here, I do recommend you give it a try if you like vetiver, you want something a little bit more challenging, something to kind of develop your palate, so to speak. One thing that is for sure is that this one here has great performance. 12 hours is no sweat for this one. So this one here is going to look very familiar. We have Baid Al Oud by Lattafa. So it really isn't too challenging to see what they are going after with this one here. Just looking at the bottle, it makes it pretty obvious. They weren't trying to hide anything here. Initio, Oud for Greatness. That fragrance is very strong, the Initio is, and so is this one. And not only is it incredibly strong, but it's incredibly close to the Initio, to the point where it's kind of ridiculous. Now, this one's an eau de parfum. You get a full 100 milliliters here, where I believe with the Initios are usually around 90, I believe. I guess I have it. I can look. I'll show you them side by side anyway, might as well. So you could see the Lattafa, much bigger all around. But yeah, they're not trying to hide anything. And yeah, the Initio 90 milliliters is also an eau de parfum. So you get 10 extra mils in this and you're still paying significantly less. So great deal here. For most of you, this is really the way to go. If you end up liking it and you want to get the real thing and the more premium product at some point, then you can go and get the real thing. But this is a great starting point, especially if you're diving into it and you're not even sure if you're going to like it. It is oud-centric here, but it's not terribly challenging. It's not to the point where it's unwearable. I think most guys out there that have been doing this long enough to have the confidence to wear something a little bit out of the norm will be able to pull this off and have no problem with it and still probably get some compliments. Not going to be for everyone for sure, but you know what? I mean, if you want to stand out, this is the way to do it. And if you want 12 plus hours performance without paying a ton of money, it's also the way to go. Running down to the end, we have no limits at all, like zero limits whatsoever. By Philipp Plein, eau de parfum, dark chocolate, leather, vetiver, some other sweet vanillic and tonka bean accords in here. This is just nothing short of amazing. Think of Gucci Guilty Absolute and or Killian Dark Lord, but sweeter and much more mass-pleasing and gourmand. You wouldn't think of a fragrance like Gucci Guilty Absolute to be gourmand. You know, might smell like you're chewing on a tire. No one wants to chew on a tire. So, you know, that's not gourmand. But the chocolatey accords that this one adds and the other sweet notes and the vanilla, it is gourmand leading. This is a delicious smelling scent. I could smell this all day. That opening is amazing. The stuff is addicting. It is great quality. It was done by Alberto Marias, so you know you're getting something that's a premium product here, and love it or hate the design of it. I mean, the scent itself is nothing short of just incredible, especially when you can now get these on discounters for anywhere from $40 to $50 for 100 mil. You gotta have this stuff. It's awesome. Second to last, we have Sauvage Elixir by Christian Dior. It's got sandalwood, licorice, and lavender, all that stuff. It is the most mature Sauvage fragrance that you'll probably ever smell unless they come out with an Elixir Parfum, Extrait de Parfum, even though this is already a Parfum. So I don't know what they can do here, but yeah, they've kind of gone to the extreme level of like maturity in a Sauvage line. This is the pinnacle of a mature, masculine smelling fragrance right here. And it is so strong. It's ridiculously strong. Some people out there, believe it or not, don't like overly strong fragrances. Like I've actually had comments before, believe it or not, of people saying that this or that is too strong. And it's always funny because I always see, oh, this is so weak. Everything is weak. Weak fragrances here and there. People hate weak fragrances. But, you know, there's some people that are like, yeah, that fragrance is actually too strong for me. And it's so weird to see because I'm surrounded by people saying everything is reformulated and watered down and weak. So this is something where it could actually be too strong for people who don't want something overly strong. It is a beast mode scent. It is a powerhouse. It will keep going and keep going. And I have nothing else to add. I want to end this one off with an OG. People recognize the sound of this bottle. Or maybe it was this one. It was this one. You guys recognize that? I had a comment the other day. They were like, yeah, I can always recognize the sound of the Eros liquid swishing around in the bottle. They're like, I knew what it was before he even showed it. And after I saw that comment, I'm like, you know what? They're exactly right. Like, there is something distinct, especially these larger bottles and when there's more missing than what's in here. It is a distinct sound, and you know what? This is a beautiful bottle. Love it or hate it, Eros is awesome. I love Eros, man. So yeah, it's Eros Parfum. It's a 12-hour performer consistently. I love Parfum fragrances. You guys know this. Trying not to get it on my jacket, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I love Eros. Love the Parfum. I think it's amazing. Vanilla and apple and tonka bean and all of that sweet minty sexiness all wrapped up into one. It's loud, it's playful, it is unapologetically youthful and just I don't know. There's nothing about this that's mature. Complete polar opposite to Sauvage Elixir. That being said, if you're a younger guy and you just want to have a fun smelling fragrance that lasts for 14 hours, check out EROS Parfum. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10, 12 plus hour performing fall fragrances. Links will be down below. Let me know your favorites down below as well. And we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.